Hello everyone, this is DM Gashbad. I thought I would do a quick video showing my gaming table for the Batman Miniatures game and the Marvel Universe Miniatures game. Um, so I'll give you a quick look, and then I'll start describing some of the elements. So as you can see, it's kind of a shipping yard. I have this thought about shipping containers and shipping yards. I feel that these things are to modern action movies and science fiction movies and TV shows what gravel quarries were to the old action movies and science fiction TV shows. They're used all the time, and it's kind of easy to see why. If you have access to a bunch of shipping containers, you can stack them up, you can rearrange them, you can pretend the set is really, really big, when in fact maybe you just have a couple and you just keep rearranging them in different ways. If you need them to explode or fly around, they're probably really easy to get the computers to use CG animation on them. So you see them over and over again. In fact, I've gotten in the habit of when I'm watching a show, if I see a shipping container, I'll yell up "shipping container" because I'm really excited that my theory might be proved correct. Anyway, so this is what I've done. Had a bit of a thing a couple months back, and so I had a lot of sleepless nights, and so I thought I was staying up anyway. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hammer out as many of these shipping containers as I can. So I just stayed up and knocked out as many as I could in a pretty short amount of time. In the description, I'll give you a link to a couple of places where I found some pretty good steps on how to make these things. One's from a YouTube channel called Yendrel's Battlefield. It's in Spanish, but you can catch the gist of what they're talking about. The other one is a blog called Rust in the City. Anyway, I'll put those in the description. The only thing I'd want to point out is that I made one little change. Instead of using corrugated cardboard from boxes or from packing rolls, I couldn't find that kind of stuff. And I didn't want to peel off the top layer of just regular box cardboard. So I actually went to a craft store, Michael's in this case, and I found, scrapbook paper with that corrugated texture on it. So I actually used that. But as you can see, you can use whatever you like. There's a lot of different ways of making these. Reaper makes a really nice plastic shipping container. They're exactly the same scale as the Night Models one. As you can see, I have the Night Models ones right here. Doesn't have the really cool Queen Consolidated logo from the TV show. I would have preferred that, but it's pretty good nonetheless. Anyway, the main benefit of these was that they are really cheap, they're easy to paint, and you can get a lot of them. And so as you can see, once you have a bunch of these, you can stack them up high, you can have them block line of sight here. If you have other big terrain elements, you can shove them all in a corner or spread them out, depending on what you have. So that was always going to be the basis of my wargaming table. So from then, I can add little elements. So you can see I put in my Night Models street lamps right here, some cyclone fencing. So all this is some thin wooden dowels on a wooden base with screen door mesh glued onto it, and then painted all nice and metallic and rusty. Toy cars I pick up here and there. This one here is my favorite. Oops. This cop car here is my favorite because it was really cheap. As you can see, it's a little damaged. I got it at a thrift shop for $1.15. The other ones are fine, but they weren't as cheap, so they are not as dear to me. Anyway, I find for those of you who are interested in such things that a scale of about 1 to 43 is about right. Most of these are too big by a touch. I like trucks a little better than cars because it's easier to hide the scale. It's harder to tell if they are too small. For cars, so for whatever reason, if the cars are too big, it's easier to tell. But trucks, you might just think, oh, it's a really big truck. Like this tow truck in particular, that's like a 136, but it could just be a really big truck, so I'll give you a little thing of that. Anyway, most of these I just found at a grocery store. They sell these little die-cast ones, but they're not hard to find. Oh, here is a Reaper dumpster. Now this might be a little bit too big, but then again these dumpsters come in a lot of different sizes, so I think it's okay. It's just a particularly large dumpster. You can see these little side slats where the dump truck goes and picks it up. They're really down low, where normally they're up high. So I think this is just a really big dumpster. So I think it's all right. But if it looks odd to you, I understand. Anyway, Reaper sells those, and I really like those because they're only about $5 US. So that's a really good price. Let's see. So we have these crates right here. I originally made these for Mordheim. All these are is I went again to another craft store and I picked up, they sell these little wooden cubes. So I picked up a little package of wooden cubes, and then I cut out matchsticks, and those went along the edges, a little cross slat, and just painted them up brown. And yeah, they make for good just crates and containers. Oh, speaking of which, let's go over here. These are Warhammer 40K barrels. They came with some kind of terrain accessory sprue or vehicle accessory sprue. Again, probably came with the 3rd edition box set. Pretty handy. Again, they're a little big scale-wise for Batman, but if you actually had ones that were actually in scale, the actual proper scale for 55-gallon drums, they would probably look a little small. They wouldn't make much of an impact on the battlefield, so I probably would prefer these anyway. These little metal pallets, same thing, same place, came from 40K, terrain sprue, pop those on there. Anyway, there's the setup. I really like this for the Marvel miniatures game. Lots of stuff to throw, lots of things to hop up on, lots of things to block line of sight, but nothing's too inaccessible. You don't have one really tall building or any way of having your guys really hide. And you got lots of different sizes to toss around and blow up. Anyway, let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any questions about any of the stuff that I have here or anything I didn't explain very clearly. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one.